Hi, everyone. I hope you're all doing great today. Feels so good to be back after 7 days of YouTube timeout. You know, a lot of you have been asking me, Brother Joe, why are you not uploading the part two of the video you launched last on YouTube? And I remember that when I posted that video, part one, I had put a description there to say that, hey, I'm not going to be able to post the part two because YouTube had removed it. They took it down and they said it was because there was some type of medical misinformation in the video. And so because of that, I couldn't upload the part two. I couldn't even upload the part three. So I literally just took two of them out. And I wanted people to know that, look, these videos will not be coming back to YouTube, but they will be now coming up on my Rumble channel. And I provided a link to my Rumble channel. In fact, there was a time we had to even send links individually to people who were commenting on that particular video, the part one of it. But up till now, and I know a lot of people are still asking, Brother Joe, where is the part two? So first of all, you need to know that the part two of that video is not going to come back on YouTube. The part three is not coming back on YouTube. You can only watch them on my Rumble channel, and we're providing the link to that channel underneath this particular video, right? So that's out of the way. It helps you understand how much persecution people like us who have chosen to tell the truth go through in the hands of YouTube and in the hands of all these legacy media outlets. You know, it's not today. If you followed me long enough, you would have noticed that this is not the first time, it's not second, it's not third, it's not fourth. But there's no problem. I know things are going to get a little worse, and we are all psychologically prepared for the time that we have to share the truth with you. We're going to do our best to keep sharing that truth with you. So I will also use this opportunity to encourage a lot of you who have not followed me on Rumble to please go ahead and follow me on Rumble. Because like I always said, every time I say it, people will laugh at me. You're going to get to a point in this very lifetime, if nothing is done, you're going to get to a point where it will be a crime for you to say Jesus or Yeshua or mention God on social networks or platforms like YouTube and the rest of them. Forget about the leniency you have today. All of that is going to be taken away when the Antichrist makes his presence known. You're going to see that everything is going to change, and it's going to look like nothing. It's just going to look like every day you wake up and suddenly you just see them slamming it. When you look around you and see the laws and the rules they are making today, you can already tell that we are heading towards that. So I'm psychologically prepared for it, and I think you should be psychologically prepared for it. So that's why when they do all these things, I really am not bothered. But I just hope that those of you who are watching me will understand that we are at war. So you can follow me on all this so that if we lose on this end, we wouldn't be able to lose on the other end. And that in the long run, eventually, we're even going to get our own. Hopefully something that we can sustain so that if everybody says no to us, we'll be able to say yes to ourselves. Now, going to the video that I put up there, in the part one, there was a hangout with the part one where you were meant to know whether the great-granddaughter of Eisenhower, the president of the US, who signed a deal with aliens, demons, whether actually she was going to confirm. If you watch the part two, you will know that she actually confirmed that her great-grandfather had signed a deal with aliens. This is something that I've always known for more than a decade since I started the research. I've always known this, so she confirmed. And then we also talked about how they were fluoridating the water, of course, the toothpaste and all of that. And I talked about how that for the past 15 years or more, I have not used a single toothpaste that has fluoride in it. And I know a lot of people ask questions, Brother Joe, what do you mean? Every toothpaste has fluoride? No. Every toothpaste doesn't have fluoride. All you need to do is when you walk into a store, whether in Africa, in Europe, in America, wherever, just tell them, I need a toothpaste that does not have fluoride in it. They call them non-fluoride toothpaste. I have made videos about this in the past, and that's why I don't use them. So you watch that video, I've already explained what they do to your brain, what they do to your psyche, your mind. They dump your brain down, they block your pineal gland and all of that. I've talked about all of that. So that how to get it, go to the store and tell them that, look, I need a non-fluoride toothpaste, period. And they will show you where it is. They're not going to advertise too much because the mainstream pharmaceutical companies that own the fluoride toothpaste are not going to allow anyone dealing on non-fluoride to come and make noise over their product. So they will always sneak them into stores. So all you need to do, just go there and open your mouth and ask, do you have non-fluoride toothpaste here? And they will show you. Now, people ask me a question again about when we talked about the kind of food that people should be eating, especially how to avoid genetically modified organisms or GMO foods. And I'm going to use two examples to explain to you what I have been doing. I'll just tell you what I'm doing on my own. This is not going to be exhaustive. It's just two very important examples that I think you can identify with. Number one is grapes. I love grapes a lot. And you know today, if you're in Africa or anywhere, you know today that whenever you walk into a store and say you want to buy grapes, there are always two kinds, usually two kinds, yeah? They will tell you, do you want seeded or the seedless? And most people, because they don't want all the disruption of trying to dodge the seeds in their mouth, they just want the other one seedless. So you can just throw it in your mouth and eat it immediately. That's a pack of poison. To be honest with you, and I'm sorry to say this, I cannot eat the seedless grapes. I have not eaten them. I mean, the first time I ate them, I felt awkward. I prefer the seeded one because according to the scriptures, your fruits should have seeds in them. Even if they don't have seeds to reproduce, they should have a stem that will reproduce them. To be eating something that cannot reproduce itself, that if you want to plant again, you have to go and get another artificial seed from someone to plant. It doesn't take rocket science for you to know that. That's poison. You should not eat that. So go for the one that has seed in it, no matter how difficult it is to eat it. It's not even difficult for anybody to eat that. I eat it every time. I say, give me the seeded one. I take the seeded one and I eat my thing and I enjoy it. But the seedless one, how do you reproduce it? If you want to plant that one, how do you plant it? Say, for instance, you buy seedless grape and you want to cultivate, you want to plant it. How do you plant it? You have to go look for the factory that manufactures the seed and collect the seed from them. And if they have re-engineered it again to another level, that's what you're going to get when you plant it. But the organic seed remains the same. It produces itself. It's the reproductive process that God actually created in man, that he created in plants. And as they are trying to stop our reproductive process, they are also stopping the reproductive processes of plants, of animals. Do you not get the whole message? That's why we say stay away from GMO things. It's all about increasing and multiplying that God created. The devil now coming to say, I don't want that to happen anyway. I am going to use chemicals and poisons to replace the original organic things that God created for our world, including you as a person. But let's go to number two of the other thing that I have decided to run away from. You know egg, right? If I ask everybody watching me right now to go into a store and buy egg, I am 100% sure that 99.9% of the people will go and buy artificial egg. Can you believe you've been eating an artificial egg the whole time? Okay, so the egg you eat today, the one you probably even ate today, did you see where a rooster and a hen had a mating process and then the hen went to go and produce the egg? The same way I used to raise chicken when I was in the village. When the chicken grows to an age of maturity, you see the rooster will go and mate the hen, and the hen will suddenly start laying eggs. And the hen would not have laid eggs if the rooster had not mated with the hen. But today, we have poultry farms where you have layers all over the place, laying eggs, no mating, nothing, just chemicals and hybrid feed given to them. They just produce eggs, something that is supposed to happen through the natural process of reproduction. Now, the most important aspect of that natural process of reproduction has been cut off. And yet the product that should have come out of it is still being manufactured, and that's what we are eating. So the devil has been able to substitute a lot of natural things with artificial ones, and we take them. And the more we take them, the more our body is conditioned to all this artificiality. That's how your immune system begins to get weakened. Because when God created us, He gave us an immune system that is in tune with organic products. Today, that immune system wakes up every day looking for some organic product. And rather than get 100%, it gets probably about 10%. Some people is 5%, some people is 20% if they're lucky. Your immune system is crying out every day for 100% organic product, including the water you drink. But they have made sure that everything that goes into you, that's the plan. The plan is that in no time, everything that comes into you must be 100% artificial, so that your immune system becomes weakened and you become incredibly vulnerable, so that any disease that comes, it strikes with just one strike, you are down, and it will be difficult for you to come out. It will be a miracle if you make it. I've told us severally, your immune system is the strongest guard you have against diseases. It's not all the pharmaceutical products. The strongest medicine you have today is your immune system. And once anybody can destroy it, you are finished. I know this is going to affect a lot of people who are already making money out of this. It's a business. It's the first time I'm actually speaking on this. But I have said to myself several times, I wanted to talk about it in the past. I said, gosh, a lot of people's businesses are going to be affected. But you know what? I've made up my mind. No matter what it takes, we have to speak this truth once and for all. Maybe this will now encourage all these poultry farmers to go into local chickens everywhere. They even taste better when you want to eat chicken. I think they're even more expensive to buy than all these chemicalized things that they are feeding people every day. In fact, there was one day I bought one chicken like that to make it, and I just realized that there was this pharmaceutical product that was smelling out of the chicken. It was a layer that had already gotten tired, and they just decided to sell it. I mean, I felt so disgusted. I couldn't eat the food that day. But there are natural chickens out there. There's natural rooster, natural hen. Bring them together and feed them with natural things so we can eat natural. That's how you get protected from diseases. Now, on the other hand, in part 3 of that video, we talked about how that chemtrails are being used to cause a lot of cancer in our world today. And not only cancer, they are causing sterility in men. They are causing low sperm count in men. Little wonder we now have so much cancer everywhere, especially in Africa. Cancer is all of a sudden like malaria all over Africa. It is because the things they are putting in the air through chemtrails is called cancer microbes. We explained it in that video. So a lot of people ask me a question over this one too. They say, Brother Joe, so what do we do as men? Because they confirm to me that what you're saying is true, that the low sperm count men are experiencing today is beyond imagination. There's a lot of low sperm count, there's a lot of male sterility. Now, does it not also go to explain what I have been talking about all along, that they do not want reproductive processes as God made it to be to continue. They want it to be stopped so that everything becomes artificial, because the devil is an artificial of who God is. That's why you have artificial intelligence. God is the original supernatural intelligence, but the devil's own is artificial intelligence. And they market it to us to make it look so good. At the end of the day, it's still not as attractive as what is natural. So I'm going to tell you what I do as a person. I'm not telling this like a medical advice or anything, but my own personal opinion of what I do. As a man, I don't know what these things do to the body per se, but I can tell you how my body feels when I take them. I feel excellently great. I feel very manly when I take these things. Now, I take ginger. You know, ginger is very popular in Nigeria, in parts of Africa. I blend ginger and I add honey in it and I drink it as a man. I noticed from my own personal research that these things have a way of knocking out some of the deposits that come from these pollutants that they put in the air. It may not be confirmed, but this is my own personal observation, because I like to eat stuff and observe my body, and my body has responded so well to it. The other thing I also noticed is garlic. I noticed that most of the time when I eat garlic, I feel a rush of energy that goes to my bones and my joints and stuff like that. So, and you know that little story about garlic, that when there is some type of spiritual thing, the garlic scares away demons and all of that. Well, I don't know about that, but I can tell you that witches don't like garlic. I can tell you that for a fact. I have seen that with my eyes. Witches run away from garlic. I have seen it happen before. People who are possessed, most of it doesn't mean that people who don't eat garlic or who run away from it are all witches. No, there are people who just don't like the smell. They can't stand the smell. But I'm telling you that I have seen where real witches run away from garlic. They can't stand. I don't know why, but sometimes yours truly actually gets to chew garlic. I chew garlic sometimes raw and I eat it. All right. So this is all the things that I do on a personal note. And then another thing that I do is I drink a lot of water. Most often than not, I drink alkaline water. If you can, grab alkaline water, and if you cannot, please boil up whatever chemicalized water you have and let it evaporate all those things and then cool it down and drink it. And then get lemon and put it inside that water to be able to do lemon and cucumber and stuff like that, so that you'll be able to drink something that is more alkalinized. This is what I do. Now, there is another thing that we talked about in those videos, which is about the alien presence in our world. And I showed you how that aliens appeared in somebody's backyard and stuff like that. Just recently, there's a video. This was happening, I think, yesterday or 2 days ago. A video of a lady who went into an airplane and saw a guy that is hooded. And she was looking at this guy. She just said, no, this guy is not human. It's not normal. And she started freaking out.
I'm telling you, I'm getting the off. And there's a reason why I'm getting the off. And everyone can either believe it or they cannot believe it. I don't give two but I am telling you right now, that mother back there is not real.
And it turned out that that guy actually is a very suspicious character. And I can tell you from everything I have known that that person is probably an alien hybrid. There's no two ways about it. You know how I know? A guy who was on that same flight now had to make a video to tell the whole world that he was there when this happened. That when eventually the plane landed and that guy walked out, that the guy winked at him. And guess what? When human beings wink, you wink like this vertically. The guy said when that person winked at him, he winked horizontally like this instead of like this.
When he winked at me and it was his left eye looking back at me, it didn't wink like this. It winked like this.
Can you see? Who winks like this? Reptiles, reptilians. I told us, you need to watch my videos. You need to save them because I don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. These people are in our midst. The reason you saw all this LGBT rubbish going on all over the place is because they want to desensitize you to get used to these folks that look like humans, but they are not humans. They are introducing them into our system, getting them to mix up and be with us. These people are here already. They are here. Forget about the real aliens themselves. The hybrids are already in our midst. If you watch that video, the man even talked about how that as at the 1970s, when he became a man in black, that he actually saw that 1/3 of the people who were so-called men in black were alien hybrids as at 1970s. Imagine now, we are no longer alone. That was the essence of that video. But they had to attack the video because, of course, you know, if you watch the whole video, you will see the man say that they were silencing people who were about to talk about it. Anyone who wanted to talk about it, they will silence the person. So this is how we are being silenced, for letting you know the truth. To my surprise, I realized that a lot of people didn't believe in aliens. Are you joking? I have real images of real aliens. I'm not joking. Aliens exist. And aliens are things you've been casting and binding all your life as a Christian. They just changed the name and called it aliens so that it will sound good. But the same aliens are the demons you've always been casting out. That's who they are. How many times am I going to say that? Aliens are demons. Let's wake up, people. Please watch out for the video I'm about to publish for us on one interview that would change your life from some of the arrowheads of the Church of Satan. You need to watch that interview. You need to watch it and share it so that you know that everything we're experiencing today was planned several decades ago. The enemy we are fighting with is not a dumb enemy. We are supposed to be wiser. I'm not going to say we're not getting any wiser, but I'm only going to say that God needs to help us to be able to beat the enemy in this game of wisdom and gentility. May God bless you.